Although this mouthpiece might seem legit, like the real deal, there's things that would make you think so. That you can see, like there are teeth marked from the previous player. Um, it's even like very fine shading in here. There's a line from a tooth guard. The detail is just incredible on this mouthpiece. It is, however, a counterfeit mouthpiece, and I'll show you a couple of things to look for you to be able to spot this, because there are some things that are just, you know, that you can look for, so that you know absolutely sure that for sure that this mouthpiece will be legit or not. So so one of the things, like I said, like you can see that there are teeth marks in it and stuff like that. That's something that might make you think that, wow, this is super legit. Now, if you look at it this way here, and you look at the print here, you can see that there's absolutely nothing inside of the print here. There's no paint whatsoever. And usually, even on a very old mouthpiece, you'll find some kind of residue left from the previous paint job. This never had paint inside of it here. So that's one of the things that if you see it this clean, you should definitely be alerted to that it may be a counterfeit mouthpiece. Down here where it says small, you can see that there's been an attempt made to put some paint in, but it's even that doesn't, I can't, with this one, I can't really put my finger on what it is, but there's something about this that just doesn't look right. Now, since we're in this area of the mouthpiece, you can see, if you look around it, it's a little clearer on this side here, and when you come around towards the top here, it's a little, you know, it looks like it's been sanded with really fine sandpaper. That is, for some reason, I'm not sure why, but a lot of the counterfeit mouthpieces, they look like this. And it may have something to do with this is where the resin has been poured in. So if we move forward or a little bit, so here's one of the certain giveaways. You can see the bubbles, that there are bubbles left here and here and here. And that's because when the mouthpiece is being cast in resin, it's sitting like top down. So usually the shank is up, and this is where the resin is being poured in towards the tip. So you would actually be able to find something. Some work has been done towards the tip on this one here, because it also needs to be able to vent down here so that the air can move through it. And this is pretty well made actually for a resin mouthpiece. That the fact that there are only bubbles up here is pretty good, and it's probably because it's been put in a vacuum chamber. So in the curing process, it's been sitting in a vacuum, and all the bubbles have been pulled out of it. Another thing that's also one of those things to look for. Let me see if I can get a good shot of it here. It's hard to see, but there are very fine lines going this way, like circular around the mouthpiece. Very, very fine lines. That's another thing, that's a sign that it could be that somebody had, you know, just gone over the mouthpiece and with some really fine grit sandpaper to polish it up. But it doesn't look like there's really no good reason to do that, unless there's like a you know, like a big scratch or something that needs to be taken out. Another thing to look for is also like the color and the depth of the color. First of all, like the mouthpiece, it doesn't feel right in the weight of it, and it's also a little too hard. A hard rubber mouthpiece, I don't know if you'll be able to hear the difference, but it has a little bit of a more ring to it, a hard rubber mouthpiece. This sounds a little more dead. and it's harder. So let's see, what else is there to look for? Okay. In terms of bubbles, if you look inside here, it's hard for me to get a good shot of it here. You can't, it's hard to see. But as you can see, I started working on the table a little bit here. And one of the things, so this is the dead giveaway. This is like, if you get to this far with the mouthpiece, and this is the dead giveaway. So as you can see, I did a little bit of a few passes on the sandpaper here, and this is what it looks like. So you can see that the tone of this, which is a 600 grit sandpaper, it's gray, or there's sort of like a whitish tone to it. And on the sandpaper, it looks like this. This is this particular mouthpiece. So it comes on and a whitish gray onto the sandpaper. This is what it should look like. This is hard rubber. This is the hard rubber, type of hard rubber that a mouthpiece like this would have been made from. So this is true for the vintage Auto-Link mouthpieces and the vintage Maya mouthpieces, vintage hard rubber Berg, etc. A lot of these like vintage mouthpieces, they have some variation of a tone of yellow, brownish yellow. If it comes off like this is this particular mouthpiece here, very white, or very almost white gray. That's just no way that this is an actual genuine mouthpiece like this. This over here is another resin mouthpiece. This is one of these stock mouthpieces that usually come with the Taiwan horns nowadays. So it's a better quality resin, but it's still a resin. And it's not that there's anything wrong with resin mouthpieces. There are mouthpieces that specifically are made with resin, and it's a good material. But the problem is when somebody's trying to pass off a vintage Maya mouthpiece as the real deal, and if it looks like this, somebody's definitely trying to fool you into some higher price than it really is worth. So if you have any questions about this, and you as a viewer of this video might actually have some other things that you look for, but these are the things that I've found that are you know, dead giveaways, or some of them are you know, like evidence to the fact that it's not real, like, or that it's not the real deal. And this down here is a dead giveaway, and bubbles on the shank is absolutely a dead giveaway as well. So I hope this is helpful, and I hope that this is something that will have you feel a little more confident if you're shopping for a vintage saxophone mouthpiece. Yeah, if this was helpful, please subscribe to my channel, click subscribe, and also if you have any other things that you look for, like I said, please comment in the field below, so that there might be some things that I don't know about that would be useful for people to know as well. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.